Good day to you, partner. I'm keen, and I can already tell that I'll be your best friend in this forsaken cave.
Hey guys, Wheat Solo here, aka the Skeleton King. So, this got me really mad today. Now, basically, this build is abusing the new rune word Innocence. For those of you who don't know, Innocence is a very interesting rune word that I think is going to need some adjusting because it has a lot of interesting complications with items or basically builds that already exist. Now, whether that will turn out to be true for Necromancer is another story. A lot of people want to see Innocence plus Brand. Now, the problem is you may have noticed this from my poll. I talk about next hit delay and last collision. Basically, it won't work with Brand. I'm going to do it just so you guys can see, but it's not going to work. But basically, the Blade Shield that's given to you by Innocence will proc things on striking. So that'll be like Brand Bone Spears, it'll be like Eternal Breath of the Dying Poison Nova, or Martyrdom Bone Armor. So this build abuses Martyrdom Bone Armor. Now, why this works at all, because one of the problems with a poison-based build is you actually almost always need Bramble or Venom Ward or the Declone Armor. Poison Dagger just does such ludicrous damage that with suboptimal gear, I was doing a 34k Poison Dagger. And by suboptimal, I really do mean suboptimal. I have no facets in my gear. I think I have like a shit ton of runes and dull runes, and then my dagger has nothing in it. Now, if you did put just a couple of facets in, I don't even think you would need much. Basically, you'd be worried. On Cows, it wouldn't matter too much, but if there is a poison enchanted, you'd probably want a little more Pierce, and that's not hard to get. And it's not because Poison Dagger doesn't have Pierce. I don't know why I'm talking about this build seriously. I should just get to the point. Anyways, Poison Dagger has negative 40 Pierce on it, but the Pierce only happens on the actual strike itself. Now, that strike should splash. Don't quote me on this, because most of us only use Poison Dagger for bossing, or not even me. Some of us, like Topwood and Colby, and like 2 other Necros. But like right now I'm hitting the Cow Queen, right? So that means the Cow Queen is getting a minus 40 poison debuff. And so with 34k, that is way more damage than I'd ever need. Sure, for the boss it actually takes way longer than I thought it was going to be. My AR is actually very good. I'm using a Raven Frost. Probably unnecessary because Poison Dagger itself has pretty good AR. But the reason why you might want more Pierce or damage than 34k is because the Cloud, which will affect other enemies, not just the ones that you actually hit with your dagger, that does not have the minus 40 debuff. So, although you'll probably kill everything in one hit with suboptimal gear, I don't think you will kill everything in one Poison Cloud. So now let's get to the actual problem with this build. The Poison Cloud is too small. Now, I'm going to show you when I walk back through how many mobs are actually left alive. So, Poison Daggers themselves have a small splash radius, and then the Necromancer has really bad attack frames. In fact, just think about it this way. Their attack frames are the same as their cast frames, and I think they might be one worse, as in you'll cap out at 9 frames of FCR at 125, or cast rate animations 9 at 125 FCR. And then attack, I believe, is 99, and you'll cap out at like 10 frames per attack. It might be 11. I'm sorry, I really don't care to look into this more. And you can just see when I'm actually trying to clear every enemy in a pack, and I'm getting frustrated right now, it's basically impossible. I have to almost melee every single cow. What is the actual radius of the Poison Strike Cloud? I don't know, it's probably 10 yards, but it just doesn't seem to really work that well. Like I think the Cloud itself is not just killing enemies. Not even Poison Enchanted. Now, again, you could do some more damage. How much is that going to help it? Well, if you have to warp attack to kill a pack of 10-yard radius, why don't you just play fire golems and save yourself the stress? And I'll finish it off with the last real problem, is there's just no way to play a necromancer and attack. One of the ways people used to get around it is to use ferocity for zeal. I don't know how much that would help. I mean, you could just throw it on, right? You don't need more damage. I'll say this. It would probably be more fun to play ferocity zeal, but damage really isn't the issue. But at least you'd splash a little bigger, right? Wait, but then you have to actually poison strike. Oh my god, I'm retarded. Never mind, that wouldn't work. That was an EBOTD build. I always forget that. So anyways, scratch that. Now I'm walking back through and you can just see how many minions are actually left alive. To actually try to full clear a map, it would probably take you hours. Is there any reason to run this? It's kind of cool to see Innocence proc bone armor, but as you could see and throughout the course of the map, it really wasn't doing enough to make me want to use it more. Is my gear in the right direction? Yeah, I mean, without crafts and cores, it's kind of hard, just because I need to get a lot of IAS and FCR. And so I guess if you did want to run this, I'd probably drop Blood Warp. It's probably faster to Blood Warp, but it's so frustrating dealing with slow cast animations and slow attack animations. So there you could see it. There's 11. So it's 10 frames max, yeah, at 99. And I believe it's 9 frames at 125 FCR. So you're just pretty slow at everything. By the way, those are the new pots. Those are kind of cool. And I was complaining so much about it that Renato said he was wondering if I could even do cows in 5 minutes. And spoiler alert, I don't clear it much faster than 5 minutes. It's not even like a sub 3 minute clear. Now, could you do a sub 3 minute poison dagger necro cow from like game open, right? Or I didn't even count revive time in this. I just counted from when I moved from Stony Field. Like our Trav lords, the Night Lords that I have, the ones that cast Meteor and Fireball the best, I'd probably think council members are the best. Also, if you're doing this budget, you should just get physical revives because who cares? It would also probably be nice to get some more safety. But like if you actually watch this, again, there's no way for me to do this quick enough because I have to waste like a second per tiny little radius. And it's really, really obnoxious because any animation I do can be canceled. Now, I have my bone armor, right? I guess you should actually go max energy for this and then try to get your reses up higher and like have a lot of life in other places because I still procced FHR too much, I blocked too much, and trust me, I'm not trying to run dexterity, but just any chance I do hit recovery or I block just makes everything go slower again. So you might even want some FBR because you're probably going to block. Don't play this build. For one, it's probably not going to make it to live, as in the interaction between Innocence and Martyrdom. Now, just speaking about that, do I think that's broken? No, I think they should leave it in because I don't know. It's fun. It's really not fun. It's not good. Like the only way I think to make Innocence Martyrdom like actually a functional thing for a build would be to do it for PA and you're just a support necro. And so you would just stomp ahead of the group, cast curses, and just soak up damage. And then actually if you went full PDR crap like that, you know, still got some FCR and had some golems for support, I actually think that could be kind of cool. Now, do I think it's going to make it? No. I think you could still die? Yes. But maybe it'd be good enough. Like, you're not running Enigma, which is just so amazing. You're not running better. Although Martyrdom's actually a pretty good shield these days, so I guess all you're dropping is a chest slot to get more active bone armor. Yeah, maybe it would work. Blood Warp is kind of shitty, though, for being a support necromancer. I made it work before. So anyways, there's really not much to say. Now, someone might go, hey, I don't think Act 3 Holy Shock is best. You said damage isn't a problem. I completely agree. I didn't think the damage numbers would be that high, and I just didn't care about getting a prayer merc. How much would a prayer merc help? I think a prayer merc would just help like you do random bullshit, like, you know, LOD farming. Do I think the prayer merc, is that going to make your mapping problems go away? No, not at all. And just so you guys can all see, the Holy Shock Merc is absolutely busted. The static field goes across the entire screen, and every enemy every enemy has, what's it called? 15% less health right now. What's funny is I actually think I would clear this cow. God, this is so slow. I'm getting bored talking about this. I think you'd clear this as fast with revives at 20 points and desecrate at 20 points with a static shock merc. I'm not kidding. So anyways, am I going to do the brand build? As long as it's not nerfed on tomorrow, I'm going to showcase it. And then right here, I'm actually more excited about this. I'm more excited about the Innocence EVOTD build. So basically, it's the same thing, except by the way, you could actually run 3-piece trangs if you wanted to be serious. I'm not sure how you wouldn't die, but this is kind of fun. Now, how high is the damage? It's not quite high enough. With 3-piece, it might be, but I just don't know how you'd get hit enough and not just constantly die. But for anybody who remembers Proxmancer, it's kind of fun just to see it again. And yes, I am using a Vine Creeper because I was like, I need all the extra damage I can get. And Skelly King out, guys. GG.
Come and play with us, Daddy.